Okay, so we're going to go back over some more of this math. So yesterday we looked over, let's see. Okay, we looked over writing down the factors of a number. Then we looked at finding the greatest common factors of two numbers. Then we looked at square numbers. Remember those? All right. Now, then we looked at reducing fractions to their lowest terms by using the greatest common factor. All right. And then we looked at the shortcut, where if the top number is a factor of the bottom number, then you just divide by the top number. And your top number would be 1. That's kind of a shortcut. All right, so I'm going to work today with you a little bit about, and I don't know how long you're doing these lessons, but we're just going to probably finish this section this week, and then the rest of the week we'll just do some practicing. So, all right, so we know that if you take a number, say you're going to take 28, two numbers, 28 and 36. Okay, so we know that the factors for 28, of course there's several, but we know that there's 4 times 7. And we know for 36, using one of these, we have 4 times 9. Isn't it 9? Yeah, 4 times 9. Okay, so we know that. All right, so if this were a fraction, 28 over 36, 28 36ths, and we wrote two of their factors here, and factors here and factors here, we have to make sure, because there's different factors for this, and there's 1 in 28, there's 2 in 14, there's 4 in 7, and for 36 there's a whole lot more. So you could write anything on these, any two sets of factors, but you want to make sure that you have a number that's common with them. So in order to reduce this fraction, this is one way you can do it. Mark out what is common, and what's left is the reduction. That's the reduced fraction. Now, let me go over this with you again. Let's take let's take a different number. Let's see, what are we going to do? Let's take 12 48ths. No, I don't want to do that. Okay, let's do this. Let's take 6 9ths. Okay? Now, if I said I need you to simplify this, you've got lots of different ways. The way that you know how to do it right now is to think of their factors or write them down and circle the one that's the greatest in common, divide them both down by. That's one way. Another way is by factoring. Okay? You can simplify a fraction by finding its GCF and then dividing them both down. Or what we're learning today, we're doing the same thing, it's just we're learning how to do it a different way. You can factor. It's called factoring and canceling. Factor and cancel. This is just another way to do the same thing, another way to simplify a fraction. Okay, so let's see, if we wanted to factor and cancel this, let's think of what can you get to get 6? You go 2 times 3. Okay, using one of these, can you do something for 9? Yes, 3 times 3. Okay, we're going to cancel out, because it's called factoring and canceling. We're going to cancel out what's in common here, and so what's left is our reduced fraction. It's been reduced. Pi-yow. There you go. And it'll work every time. Okay, now remember, GCF, find the greatest common factor, divide them both by it. Now if you did that for this, you would have written the factors for 6. 1, 2, 3, and 6. And then you would have written them for 9. 1, 3, and 9. Their greatest common factor is 3. You would have divided both of these by 3. 6 divided by 3 is 2. 3 divided by 3 is 3, 2/3. Okay? All right, so we've learned how to do GCF, and we've learned how to factor and cancel. These produce the same results. These are just two different ways to get the same answer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do one more with factoring and canceling, and then I'm going to put a couple up here on the screen for you to do and see if you can get them right by factoring and canceling. Okay? Now, if you just remember what it is, if you can just remember in your mind, when you take a test or something that says find the GCF, you know that's greatest common factor. So you'd write all their factors out of the two numbers, or however many you have, and you would find the greatest one that they have in common. Okay, remember that. Now, if it says use factoring and cancellation to find the simplified fraction, then you know it's this. You factor it out using their same factors. You cancel out what's the same, and what's left is the thing. Okay, so let's try 9/21. Okay, now we're going to use factoring and canceling. All right, to get 9, the only thing you can do is this. And then for 21 is this. Okay, mark out what's the same, cancel that out. So what you're left with is the simplified fraction. 9/21 simplifies to 3/7. Again, you could have done it the same way using the GCF, writing out all the factors for 9, all the factors for 21, and going and finding which one is the same to both of them, that's the biggest, and then divide them both down. Okay? Factoring and canceling is just a hair bit faster. Okay? Now, all right, I'm going to put some up here on the board, and I want you to see if you can factor and cancel them down. Okay? Here's the first one. I want you to do 21/49. And then I want you to do 32/40. And then I want you to do 14/35. Now I want you to simplify these fractions using factoring and cancellation. I don't know why I keep saying that. Okay? So go ahead and pause it and see if you can factor these down and get the simplified fraction. Okay. If you haven't finished, pause it until you do. I'm going to show you the answers on these, okay? This is what you should have written. Okay? To get 21, you get 3 and 7. To get 49, you use 7 and 7. These are the same, so we're left with 3/7. Okay, that's this fraction simplified down to lowest terms. Okay, for this one, we'll use 4 times 8. For this one here, we'll use 4 times 10. Now, we could have used all kinds of numbers on these, but remember we had to use it to where there's a factor that's the same in both. So we chose 4, and it could have been anything that was the same. These cancel. Oh, that's not right, because then we're left with 8/10, and that's not simplified, is it? I'm wrong on that. Yeah. All right, so that means we're going to have to go back. My bad. My bad. Let's see. What did I do wrong? Oh, we must not have thought of the best number. Okay, let's do... Oh, yeah. I see why. I know why it didn't work. Okay, 32. We're going to do 8 and 4, just like we just did. And then we're going to do 8 and 5. Okay, these are the same. You're left with 4/5. Now, do you know why that other one didn't work? I mean, it was not wrong. We could have canceled 8/10 down, but it didn't work because I used a small number. There was a bigger number I could use that I could cancel out. That's why. And then for this one, we'll use 7 times 2. And for this one, we'll use 7 times 5. These cancel. You're left with 2/5. Okay? I hope you got those right. Okay. Let's do a few more of these just to make sure you get them. Know what you're doing. The biggest thing is you've got to know what to do when you take a quiz or a test and it asks you to do something. The biggest thing is you can't not know what to do. All right, so let's do these next 3. I want you to simplify 6/21 and 12/30 and 8/56. Okay, simplify these into lowest terms using factoring and cancellation. Go. All right, I'm going to show you the answers, what you should have on here. All right, to get 6, of course, we're going to do 2 times 3. And then here we're going to do 7 times 3. Mark these out, cancel them out. You're left with 2/7. Okay, for this one's going to be one of those you've got to make sure you're going to use the right one. I think on this one we'll use 6 times 2. You want to think of some bigger factors, some of the bigger factors. We could have used 3 and 4 if we wanted to, because then we could have used 3 and 10. But then because those aren't very big factors, we would have had to have simplified the answer again. So use the bigger factors that you can think of. This here would be 6 and 5. These cancel out. You're left with 2/5. Okay. All right. And then this one, this is easy. This would be 1 times 8. And this would be 7 times 8. These cancel. You're left with 1/7. And not only that, but this one, you really wouldn't even have to do this, because when you look at that, you automatically, because you know your times tables, you automatically know that this is a factor of this. 8 times 7 is 56. You know 8's a factor of that. So automatically you say, oh, okay, so the top number is 1, and then whatever the other number is. Remember those, we used to do those fact families? Whatever the other number's left, it goes here. The top number is always 1 in this, only if this is a factor of this. All right, now we're going to move on. And whoopsie daisy. Okay, all right. Let's see what's next. All right, now then we talked about factor trees and how to reduce a number down to its prime factors. All right, so we'll take 12. Okay, you did the factor trees fine. You just have to make sure not forget anything. Okay, any 2 numbers you choose, we'll choose 2 and 6. Okay, this is already prime, right? So we're just going to bring it down. Now your book didn't teach you to bring it down, but I'm going to teach you to. Okay, and then this breaks off into 2 times 3. Both of these are prime. Okay, so right here, these are your prime factors. So what's 2 times 2? Okay, that's 4. Times 3? That's why these are prime factors. They're the lowest factors on the totem pole that you can multiply together to get that number. Okay? All right, then let's do another one right quick. Let's do 18. Let's use 2 and 9. Okay, this is already prime. We're just going to bring it down. Okay, there's your prime factors. 2 times 3 is 6. 6 times 3 is 18. Those are your prime factors. So that's how you do. I'm not going to have you practice on those factor trees. Well, I think I will. I think I'll have you do... I think I'll just have you do 1 or 2. Let's do a couple, just to make sure we stay on it. I want you to do 60, and I want you to do 32. Okay? You want to pause it and go ahead. Okay, did you find the prime factors? All right, so I might use different numbers than you, but I'm going to use 6 and 10. You might have used something different. Okay, 6 breaks down into 2 and 3. And then 10 breaks down into 2 and 5. All of those are prime. So the prime factors, not factors, the prime factors for 60 are 2, 2, 3, and 5. Okay, now for 32, I'm going to use 4 and 8. 4 breaks down to 2 and 2. 8 breaks down to 2 and 4. 4 breaks down again to 2 and 2. Okay, you can bring these down again if you need to help you, So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 2s. So the prime factors for 32, you would list them. Now, later on, we'll figure out an easier way to list them. But for right now, that's what you would do. Okay? All right, so now what you can do, I hope you got those right. Now what we're going to do is we're going to use those factor trees. This is another way to simplify a fraction. Use, well, you can say a factor tree, but I'm going to use prime factors because the only way to find the prime factors is to do a tree. Okay? All right. Now this way, to me, is longer, and you don't have to do it. If the instructions just say, find the simplified fraction or, simplify each fraction, I just want you to know that these are some ways that you can simplify a fraction. So what if we wanted to simplify 45/60ths? And the instruction said use a factor tree and reduce them by using prime factors. All right, so on a separate sheet of paper, you would get the prime factors. We're going to go with 8 and, not 8, with 9 and 5. Okay, and then this will be 3 and 3. And I'm going to bring the 5 down. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my prime factors of 45 in the right order from least to greatest, which they already are, and I'm going to bring them up here and I'm going to list them. Okay, 3, 3, and 5. All right, now let's get the prime factors for 60. We did that while ago. Yes, it is, baby. We did that while ago on the other page. I can't remember what it was, so let's do it again. So 10 and 6. Oh yeah, I do. I remember. 2 and 5. And then this is 2 and 3. Okay, so these are not in order, so we're going to have to take these and put them up here like we did these in order. So 2 and 2. 3 and 5. Okay, there's our prime factors listed. Now what we do is, after we get our prime factors and we list them, we go through and we mark out everything that's the same on both. All right, so right up here you got 2 3s. Down here you've only got 1 3. So that means we can only mark out 1 3 and 1 3. Get rid of both 3s. Now, if there was another 3 here, we could have marked out that one, but you can't because that's all there is. Okay. Now there's 1 5 and 1 5, so we can mark those out. Okay. They cancel each other out. Okay. Now there's no 2s up here, so we have to keep those. So now we've canceled out everything that we can cancel out. So the only number up here that's left is a 3. And what's left here is basically that's 4. Okay, so 45/60ths simplifies to 3/4. This is just another way of doing it. Get your prime factors, lay them out, mark out what's the same, and put what's left. Okay? All right, now, I'm not sure if you're ready to do one of those yet on your own, or if I should help you with one more. Maybe we should try and let you do it on your own. How about that? All right, so I'm going to put one up here, some numbers, and I want you to do these yourself. All right, so first it's going to be 63 70-seconds. 63 over 72. Now you could, if I said you can simplify that anyway, you could find the GCF and divide them both down. You could factor and cancel them, or you can do the factor tree and put their prime factors. But I want you to do the prime factors. So basically do your factor trees first, and then write the prime factors in order at the top on both, and then mark out what's the same, and then you leave what's left. So pause it while you do that. Okay, so let me show you how to do this. This is for Addie. So, okay, so basically what we're going to do is we're going to take our factor tree here, and I'm going to use 9 and 7. That's probably what you used. I don't know. 3, 3, and 7. Okay. So I just brought my 7 down. It was already prime. So there's all your prime numbers for 63. I'm going to go ahead and do 72 before I put them all up there. I'm going to use 9 and 8. And this goes down to 3 and 3. This goes down to 2 and 4. And then this goes down to 2 and 2. I'm running out of space. I'm going to go ahead and bring these down so I don't forget about them. Bring this down. Woo! And then I'll bring this one down. All right. So these are not in order either. We'll have to put them in order. Okay, so for 63, we'll put these. They're already in order. And then these, there's 3 2s. And there's 2 3s. Okay, have them all listed. Now we got to go through and we got to mark out what's the same on both, top and the bottom. Up here you got 2 3s, and down here you got 2 3s. So that means we can mark out both of them, all of the 3s. Okay, but up here we don't have anything left but a 7, and down here we have the 2s. So that's all we can do. So now we just have to bring over what's left. 7's left on top, and what's this? 8. Okay, so 63 over 72 simplifies to 7/8 if you do it that way. So that's a little bit longer way, but that just kind of gives you a clue as to another way of doing it. Okay, so let me see here. Let me X these things out, make room. Well, these don't want to. All right, so basically that's all that we learned last week. So really all we can do now is just practice on those, and then I'm going to let you retake that quiz. And actually I think I may just let you go ahead and retake that quiz like now, like whenever you're done, or you can take it tomorrow. But you can go back to exercise 8 in your book. It was on page 109 and 110. And if you want to, you can just redo. I mean, your answers are on there, so there's no need to subtract or anything. But you can just redo these if you want to. Actually, you know what? Maybe I should do this myself. Maybe I should put these on the board so that you can do it on your paper and see if you are ready to take the quiz. Okay? All right, so let's do that. So get your, let's see. Okay, well, there is a little bit of something at the very top that I want to review right quick that I didn't get to. All right, remember when we were talking about fractions being equivalent or not equivalent? Okay, remember this means equal, and then if you make this symbol, that's not equal. Equivalent is equal, not equivalent is not equal. Okay, so at the very top of the page that you did before you took your quiz, and I think it was on your quiz, was you had to tell if fractions were equivalent or not. So that's what I want to do now. So let's look at, I'm just going to put something up here. Let's look at 2/3. And let's look at 12/18. All right, are these equivalent? Now you need to know, yes, you should be able to look at it and tell within 5 seconds or less if these are equivalent. Here's the way to do it. You take the top numbers and you think to yourself, okay, how do I get from here to here? What do I need to do here to get here? Well, the only thing to do is to do that, right? If you do it up there, you have to do it down here. So then if it fits there, it may not fit here, but let's see. Are these true? They are, which means that they are equivalent. Okay, let's think of another one here. Let's do 6/12, and let's do 3/8. Okay, are these equivalent? Well, how do you get from here to here? What would you have to do? Sometimes it's multiplying and sometimes it's division. The way you know is if you're going from a smaller one to a bigger one, you're multiplying. If you're going from a bigger one to a smaller one, you're going to divide. So this makes this true, right? So whatever you do up top, you got to do on the bottom. Is that true? Nope, it's not. So these would be not equivalent. That's the only thing you got to do. Does that make sense? Right. You missed those on the quiz, so make sure you know how to do that. All right, so here we go. So I'm going to put the first 4 up here. And what you need to do is you need to write equal or not equal. Just this or this. That's it, okay? Here we go. There's your first 2. There's your second 2. This is for Addie. She doesn't care if we make noise. Oh. And this is 15/25 and 3/5. Here's your next one. So here's the first set, here's your second set, here's your third set, and your fourth set is this one. Okay? All right. So your first 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are your first 4. You should have either equal or not equal to those, okay? If you need some time, just pause it and do it. Okay. I'm gonna, I should check these now. Okay, we'll see if these are equal or not equal. Put the answers up there. Times 4 times 4, this is equal. This is not equal. This is equal. And this is not equal. Those are the answers you should have gotten. Alright. Alright. Let's do the next set. I want you to write the factors, just the plain factors for these numbers. That number. Write the factors for this number. For this number. And for this number. Pause it while you write the factors. Okay. So the factors for 36 are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 9, 12, 18, and 36. All right. If you need me to read that again, just go back. No, I'll say it. 18 should be 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, and 18. 25 is 1, 5, and 25. And 27 is 1, 3, 9, and 27. Now these are actually written down on exercise 8, page 109 in your book, and you got those right. But you might, if you need me to go back, you can either rewind it or you can go back and look in your book. All right, very good. The next review section is you're going to write the factors and circle the common factors. Color the greatest common factor blue. All right. So we're going to write the factors. Write the factors for 9 and 36. Okay, you've already got 36 at the top that you just did. It's number 5 at the top. All right, so write all the factors for 9. Write all the factors for 36. When you've done that, circle all the ones that are common to both. And then the one that's the greatest common factor, color it blue or circle it with blue. All right, I'm doing the answer, so make sure you've already got yours. The factors for 9 are 1, 3, and 9. And then for 36, we're 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 9, 12, 18, and 36. Those are the factors for each. All right, so now it said to circle those that are common. Well, I'm going to circle them in red and make it easier to see. All right, 1s are common, 3's common, and 9 is common. Oh, wait a minute. That should be blue because 9 is the GCF, the greatest common factor. There's no more. That's as big as it gets. Okay, that's the biggest number they have in common. All right. I hope you got that right. Okay, let's see about doing 21. Oh my gosh, I forget that every time. Let's do 21 and 42. Do the same thing. Write the factors, circle what's common, but the greatest common factor, circle in blue. All right, here we go for 21. For 21, you should have 1, 3, 7, and 21. For 42, you'd have 1, 2, let's see, what is, that would be, is that 24? 2, 1, 20, what is it? I don't know what it is. Oh, it's 21. Yeah. I didn't know what it was. Okay, so it's 2 and 21. And let's see, 3 goes into it, doesn't it? Then 4, 5, yeah. So, oh my gracious. What's 3? 3 goes into 42. $14 times. See how I did that? See, I didn't know. Okay, so we've got 14 and we've got 21, but we're not done just yet. So we've got 3. Okay, does 4 go into 42? I don't think so. 1, no, it does not. So 4, and I know 5 doesn't. Does 6? Yep, I know 6 and 7. So now we're going to start building up now, because these two go together. What went with 3? 14. What went with 2? 21. And then what goes with 1? 42. Okay, there's our factors. Now we're going to circle what's common. 1 and 1. 3 and 3. 7 and 7. But the greatest common factor would be 21. That's the greatest common factor. All right, I hope that makes sense to you. All right, now I think we're going to call it a day for now, and then I'm going to have one more short video for tomorrow, and then I'm going to reprint that quiz and let you take that quiz. But for today, that's it.